Okay, so we have another operation on matrices. Transpose. So the transpose of a matrix. I will demonstrate it via an example. Okay, so you have a matrix and you put a little t as an exponent. And what is meant by that, is that the rows and the columns are going to switch. Okay, so the first column is now going to become the first row. And the second column is going to become the second row. So you could say rows and columns switch, to put it in common parlance. Okay, so again, the first row becomes first column becomes the first row, and the second column becomes the second row. You can think of it that way. Or you can think of it the other way. You can say the first row is now my first column. The second row is now my second column. And the third row is now my third column. More, say, precisely, the ij entry becomes these two things switch. Okay, so for example, this is 1, 2 entry is now the 2, 1 entry. Okay, I think I'm talking too much. Let's do an exercise to see what you think. Okay, so try that guy out. Don't pause. I'm gonna go get my textbook. Oh, owie. Oh, getting old. So try that. Okay, so what happens is the first row is now the first column, -3, 5, -2, 7. Okay.